Welcome everybody to the live. I'm Tessa Manuelo. I will be your host for this live event where you will be discovering how to design a legal service and organization blueprint. Do you have one for your organization? Probably not. In fact, most legal organizations don't have one. And that's exactly why at Legal Creatives, we decided to take the challenge to create a video course where we will be teaching how to create one and how and also why it's relevant. And that's exactly what I want to share in this live. So I want to welcome you all to the live, and wherever you are watching, please let me know where in the world you are. It would be amazing to get to know who is watching live or even watching the replay. I'm going to present a short presentation where I'll walk you through the service and organization design blueprint methodology. And then you're going to see some blueprints that have been designed by some of the Academy members to practice their skills in legal design and to practice them in a very niche topic, which is service and organization blueprints. So let me know in the chat where in the world you are tuning in from. And as you do so, I'm going to share the screen and show you the presentation so we can kick things off. So let's take a look here at the presentation, and here we are. Welcome again to this live streaming organized by Legal Creatives on the topic of service and organization design blueprints. Truly, I had such a pleasure to put this together for you and for the community to be able to learn how to use this methodology that is legal design beyond the visuals. And so just to introduce myself briefly, for those who don't know me, I'm Tessa. I'm French-Canadian, and I'm also the founder and the CEO of Legal Creatives, which is an online platform where we learn and we practice legal design as an innovative methodology. I have a legal background, and I got to discover creativity in 2013 in Toronto, Canada, got completely hooked and made it my mission to bring all of this knowledge into the legal sector, since we need quite urgently some innovations, or at least renewal of the way we do things, the way we work together, the way we deliver the service, and the way we communicate legal information. Legal Creatives is this all-in-one platform where we have legal professionals from all around the world who come to learn and also to interact live with some of the sessions. So it gives a lot of flexibility for members to actually customize their curriculum according to their needs and to be able to get tangible outcomes like you will see today. We have those certifications that we deliver to members who get to learn the theory and apply it in practice. And this is a great way to reward the progress and also to show the skills that have been acquired. Now, let me tell you, this is why we created this new service and organization blueprint design video course with live mentoring. And today is the outcome of the work that has been done for the past 6 weeks inside the platform with members who decided to take this challenge to learn how to apply the legal design, innovative mindsets, methods, and techniques to create a service and organization blueprint. Let me ask you, do you have a service blueprint at your law firm, legal department, or legal tech startup? Please share with us in the chat to make this conversation interactive. Since we are live, that's the beauty of the live, that we can get to share. So I'm going to look forward to hear a little bit if you do have a blueprint. I see we have Armel from Spain. So great to see you, Armel. We have Joseph from the UK. Looking forward to this interesting topic. We're great to have you, Joseph, today. So let me know if you do have a service blueprint or not. My guess is probably not. And the reason for that is most legal organizations don't have a blueprint. And yet it's so essential to create a great customer experience, to increase efficiency, to also maximize profitability, because with a blueprint, you get to organize the work better, and you get to do that in accordance with the needs and wants of your customer. And so this is exactly the reason why we created this course, to actually help you learn the methodology, apply it in practice, and get to create a blueprint. So what is a service blueprint in the first place? Well, see it as a visual helper that you can use every time you're willing to make changes in your services or even technological tools. So let me show you an example to demystify. This is an example of a service design blueprint. And so we're starting on top with the customer journey, and then we are looking at the customer touch points, which are the means and tools and moments when the customer interact with the organization, whether it's people, professionals, technologies, websites, even social media. And so we want to be able to clearly picture and visualize when the customer is interacting with the organization and what do we need to have in place in the back end to actually create that amazing customer experience for the customers. To create a blueprint, how does it work? Well, there are preliminary steps that needs to be taken to create the blueprint. It's not like you go back to work on Monday, like I'm going to do a blueprint. It's not going to work like that. What you need to do is first prepare to create the blueprint. And how do you prepare? You have to have a customer journey, what we call also customer scenarios, and also inviting cross-functional teams to participate with you in such an activity to create the blueprint. Because this is not something we will do in silo. This is something we would like others to be with us. It's not an isolated activity. And so this is why the blueprint is so powerful, because it also helps break silos. It brings clarity as to how we work and where we need to improve and make some changes and plan for those changes, prioritize the changes and implement them. So let me show you a little bit what is a customer journey. A customer journey is basically what your customer needs to do in order to achieve its goal and objectives. All of our customers are on a journey. They are trying to do something, complete a task. You know, if we talk about, say, working with a law firm, they have a legal problem and they are looking at ways to solve this problem. Of course, ideally, it has to be solved in the fastest possible way, in the smoothest way, and ideally in the most accessible and enjoyable manner. And so for us to be able to know how we can improve that experience, we need first to map the customer journey. Now, the customer scenario is dealing with everything that happens in the back end for us as organizations to provide this great customer journey. So at every step of the process, we need to have systems in place, teams being active. Maybe we need to have some kind of online dashboard or platform. And so it's a mix of knowledge, it's a mix of technology, it's a mix of processes that are in place to give the customer this best possible experience. And this is why we create the scenario which is the mix of the front end and starting to dig into the back end to make sure everything is aligned. Now, we need to do this in a cross-functional way as much as possible. This is not something we can solve on our own. And the best way to bring the team together is to do a workshop and to have the team come to the workshops, people from technology, people from business intelligence. It could be also people who actually dealing with customers. It could be people at the reception, people who are in the call center, people who pick up the phone, answer the emails, all of the administrative team as well. They have a great insights to share with us as to what they hear and from the customers. So we want to bring everybody together for a workshop to align and to everybody have clarity as to also why we're here and what is the value we would like to provide to the customer. And then we do the blueprint. We do the blueprint where we actually get to map the front stage and the back stage and also the behind the scene with all of those systems and processes, technologies that we need to use with, of course, people. It's also about people and making sure that everything is functioning well. Just like if you were to do a play, you would like to have everything ready for people to enjoy the play with everybody in the back end, knowing their role, their task, their responsibility, and that if they miss something, it's going to impact the quality of the experience for the users. And this is when we get to realize that we may need to fix some problems in the organization. When we have a blueprint, we get to realize there are some strong points, but also weakest points. And this is when we can plan organizational changes, process improvements, improving also the systems and the technology. So this is how service and organization design is combined, by looking at the front end, the touch point with the customers, and everything that needs to be put in place in the back end to make sure we are building great customer-centric organizations that deliver a great experience and at the same time make the work easier. Why is it useful to do all of this work? Well, it's useful to plan, to implement, and to prioritize the changes in the services we deliver, in the customer experience, and the organizational structure. And so here's an organizational change map that we have provided inside the course for the members to also experience in the end of this video course, how to actually plan for the changes. And so the blueprints are so useful also to infuse the legal design principles in organizations. Because I get this question so many times: how do we implement legal design in our departments, with our team, in our organization? Having a blueprint is going to be a game changer. And the reason for that is because you're going to bring cross-functional teams to actually workshop and map the service, the customer journey. And then you're going to be able, doing that, to break silos, to be driven by the value you provide to customer, and start making some important and significant changes in the way you work. This is the legal design ops frameworks that we have adapted coming from the NN Group. And as you can see here, building great organizations mean we need to know how we work together. We need to know how we get the work done. And we need to know how we create impact. And I think starting with the impact is so important, because this is what drives people to be engaged. This is what motivates people to deliver more value. This is what motivates people also to stay engaged in organizations. And so what is the impact we would like to have, and how do we need to work, and what kind of work we need to deliver to create that impact? Well, this is all that we shared inside the course. And today you're going to see some of the blueprints created from courageous members who are here with me in the studio. They are in the back end, and you're going to see them in the front end in just a second, to share the work they have produced, to share also the insights, the process they went through. And so please let me know in the chat how excited you are. Are you excited? Are you feeling curious? Are you present and focused? Let me know in the chat, because you're about to see something that I think is going to be really amazing for all of you. And don't forget to share this live with your network. You can just click share right now and bring your colleagues to see this event, because we're all about education. We're all about sharing information and empowering the legal community to be more innovative by using this methodology. And so by sharing, you're actually also helping the community learn and gain great insights as to how we can do this, how we can improve the way we deliver services and organizations. So before I say thank you, I'm gonna invite the presenters to actually make their presentation. And I'm excited to see the work that has been produced. We're going to have Cecilia, who's going to be with us in just a moment. Cecilia is really a dedicated legal design learner and now practitioner, because of doing so many challenges with us at Legal Creatives. I believe it is probably her 5th challenge today. She has done the Comic Contract Challenge, the Gamification Challenge, the Legal Visualization Challenge, and I think even more. I'm not sure I can remember them all. And today she's going to present to you the work she has produced for this beautiful service and organization design challenge. Let me bring Cecilia to the front, and let's start the presentations. Hi, Cecilia. It's so great to have you today.
Hi, Tessa. I'm still in low motion.
No, it's working very
In the
well.
Matrix. Woo!
It's working very well for us, Cecilia.
Yeah? Ah, great. Great to hear. Yes.
So let's take a look at your presentation and
Okay.
let's get to know a little bit about you and who you are and what you do. So let me share the screen so we can have your presentation as well.
Okay.
And I think here, there we have it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Cecilia, before we start, I would like to thank you for being here, for taking the time, and most importantly, for doing this work of doing this challenge. Would you like to say a few words about who you are, what you do, where you are in the world, Cecilia?
Yeah, for sure, Tessa. My name is Cecilia Ferrari. I'm a corporate lawyer. I'm a legal designer. I have a small boutique law firm here based in Buenos Aires. And I began my journey 1 year and a half ago in legal design. And I have to say that right now I am a legal designer practitioner. So I'm so glad for that.
Yeah, you have been doing such great work, and so this is also
Yes.
a great way to celebrate you. Um, shall we take a look maybe at your presentation?
Okay.
So I'm gonna be in the background helping you. If you need anything, you can ask me, and I will be back on the front.
Okay,
And I'll let you
Tessa, can
present.
you yeah, put the another slide on? Okay, that's about me. Just the other, please. Okay, this is what the challenge was for me. First, design a full customer experience, identify the interaction between the user, the back and front scenarios, of course, supporter systems, and then working in our legal design ops to organize, humanize, and harmonize the way we deliver our legal service to make an impact on legal field. So we begin with the service design. So another slide, please, Tessa. Okay, great. Well, to do the service design, I followed the steps. So first, we score the 15 principles to a good service scale. You have 15 principles that allow you to identify where is your service falling or not, or it's good, and you have nothing to improve. So, if I remember,
Yes, Cecilia. Oh, I think Cecilia just froze. I think it's the internet. I think Cecilia is going to be back in just a second.
it happened, Tessa.
Yeah, you are back. It's great.
Okay.
We have
Yes,
many people supporting you.
difficult session today. Wow, technical issues. Well, I don't know where you listen when I talk about the 15 principles or not.
Yeah, so very briefly, we heard you mention the 15 principles.
Okay,
Maybe would you like
so
to summarize?
uh, yeah, the 15 principles allow you to score well if you have a great service in different items. For example, it is easy to find your service on the web or not. if you had to make some changes, you have to improve it or not, you are good. So you have to score between 4 or 0. I have a 3 there because it's easy to find my service in the web. And so I have to improve another principles, maybe at the full score with the service design and organizations design. I have to improve the soft skill and real skills of my team members. Yes, okay, this is my service definition Canva. So there, it's allow you to understand and focus. So what is your service? What is your purpose of the service? Where you process the service and what you offer the service. It was clear in this case. I focused my service in use research, doing workshops, visual doc, automatization these docs. So this is what you are looking now. It's my service definition Canva that I did in the Miro. Here is the service design blueprint. So first I did all the customer journey. I identify all the actions they have to say, ask and say to the front end, and identify the front end scenario and the back end scenario, of course, supporting systems to make the all service design blueprint. Of course, my service with this legal design art is now, I have a website. I forgot to say first that I have a website where I offer my service. So I did it, my service design blueprint focus on this. So can you, the next slide, please, Tessa? When I finished with the legal design service blueprint, I have to take the other step of the organization design. I have to make the legal design upscales to score again different points. So that's the question that we have to ask of how we do work, how do we get work done, and how do we make an impact with our work in the legal service. So we have to score that, and if I'm not, I have level 4, so I have to improve the skills of my, not the hard skills, yeah, even the soft skills and the real skills of the team members. And then we have scored that. I designed the organizational change map. So I choose the steps to design my service route. So next, please, Tessa, next slide. So here my organization roadmap. I have level 4, as I tell you. And I focus, I decided to make this roadmap focus on my team. And I choose first the question, how do we get work done? So the first step is I had to ask myself how we may design meetings where team members tell us their goals, their feelings, how they feeling on doing that work, and interests to make a real impact, to I focus. I really focus on what the team feels working together. Yes, if they feel comfortable working together, if they feel that they are collaborative working together or not. So the next step to do that was to design a calendar where to make two meets in year possible, possible calendar. Yeah, we have to make these meetings in a way that the team is no over thinking that they have to work, they have to let work to done later, and so the first step is what does make this calendar, and we decided to make a full day non-working, so team members relax and just these days just to share legal information, new expertise, insights, not talk about the work we done together at the firm. So to do that, I think the first step is to I can't see anything. Okay, here we are. To encourage the team to suggest topics to talk and at the meeting and immerse in this topic and create a great environment at the meeting. So then the fifth step is to choose 3 or 4 friendly and comfortable places to make the meeting. And for that, we asking to the team preferences to make it. So maybe we have to vote. We have 3, 4 places, and say to the team, okay, choose one to do the meeting. So the team in the choice of the place to do the meeting. And then I have to answer how do we work together. I think in the 6 steps I define to make a manifesto of legal design principles and involve the team members to do it and to harmonize this environment of collaboration between members, and they feel that this manifesto is their own manifesto. Yes, they feel part of the organization, not just another one. Feel part of yes. We have then we have the team's LD manifesto party and full celebration, because we feel that make this goal possible. And this is
wonderful. So this is so great. There's a lot you have shared with us. I would like to invite everybody to ask questions, make comments, share as well, to share the knowledge about legal service and organization design. Cecilia, you went through all of these steps.
Yeah.
So here,
sorry, I'm so nervous because I have terrible issues with my internet.
We can hear you very well. And so this is all the work that was done on the Miro board with Cecilia and other members. What is the one thing you got to learn during this challenge, Cecilia? And what is one big insight you got and you would like to share with the audience?
Well, of course, do all the process. It was amazing. It was very insightful. The live sessions with you, Tessa, with the colleagues. Really, I learned a lot about the others' experiences. Yes, because I have a small team, and I said first, oh, that's not for me. That's for big organizations. And then I realized that I have to leave away my own biases and said, no, I can adapt this to my small organization and do a great job and deliver the legal service that make an impact in the legal field. So it was a big challenge for me first, leave all biases about this. And then I really engage with the process and all the steps. I really enjoy doing it. I think I have a great challenge now that was to make this calendar and make that Teams meeting happens.
This is so wonderful.
Yeah.
I see Joseph say it's really amazing when you went through this exercise with your team. What were the quick wins you found and what needed more time? So, this is an interesting
more
question.
time to the legal ops. Yeah, because I had to be very realistic of the failures, and that's were hard and take me too much time.
So was there anything, Cecilia, in this process where you got to have a insight that you realized you could start implementing right away? Or did you realize it would be more for the long term? Or a mix of both, maybe?
I think it's a long term because I have really to work on that. Yes, maybe it's long term, not
Long
right
term.
now.
But at least it gives a great visualization of what needs to be done for the future. I see
Yeah.
J3 Singh is asking, are these tools to bring graphically or illustrative way the data of legal events or the court procedure with an impact rather than doing simply in word form the presentation of whatever jurisdiction process the legal firm through or showcase? It's a great question, Singh. I believe those tools, but our more visuals, helps us clarify the way the work is being done and the way the work is being delivered. And it is a lot easier to collaborate with other departments, but also to engage the customer on this journey with us to redesign the service. In contrast, a Word document is mostly text, and it is more difficult to process textual information when we are trying to make some changes. It's just a text. It's very analytical, which is great too. But I would highly recommend to use tools like Miro to map the service, even the court procedure, and then to bring other professionals with us on this journey to redesign them. Using Word for legal design, I would not necessarily recommend it. It is possible, but it won't be as effective as if you were to use some of those tools like Miro. I see Yasmin is right there as well. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, it's pretty exciting to see what we can do applying legal design as a customer-centric methodology to think about the way the service is delivered and the way organizations get the work done. And I think for me, it has been a huge game changer to prepare this course for the community, because also I got such great insights as to all of the new possibilities that we have to improve the way work is done in law firms, legal departments, law tech, and also public institutions. And talking about this, we're going to have our next presenter soon, who's going to actually show the blueprint she did for legal tech and also public institutions. So it's going to be a two-part presentation. But before we see the next presenter, I would like to thank Cecilia for being a part of this challenge, and also for congratulating you for this really hard work, because you've been doing how many challenges now with us at Legal Creatives? Is it, I think it's 5, right?
Yes, it's the
I think you have done all of the challenges. We started to do those challenges back in I think it was 2020, and
yes. No, I don't. The first two, I am not an academy member. I saw it on live, and then when become an academy member, I did a comic contract challenge, and then gamification challenge, and then I think a visual law or visual design contract. I realized that I made my first legal design contract for a client, and he is using it, so I'm very glad for that and for him. And then I did the Metaverse Privacy by Design Challenge, and now this.
And this is great, because now it means with all of the practice you have acquired and your recent participation in the Pro Immersion program, this means now you are entitled to earn the Expert Practitioner badge. So I wanted to congratulate you for that new achievement of yours, and can't wait to see you grow with this and to support you on this journey. Thank you once again, Cecilia.
Thank you, Tessa. Thank you, Akin. Hi to see you.
And let's continue this. Yeah, Cecilia.
Yeah, sorry about the technical issues. It's made me so nervous. I'm really
it's been great. It's been working very well, in fact. Thank you for being live. I'll bring you. You can stay with us, Cecilia, in the studio. I'm going to bring the next speaker. And thank you and congratulations once again for this really beautiful work and dedication to learn and to practice.
Thank you all. Bye. See you.
And so let's continue the event. What did you think about Cecilia's work? Really amazing. Very inspiring to see that even when we are a small organization, we can actually implement some of the changes using those tools. And so I can't wait to see the next presentation from Sylvia. Sylvia is going to be there in just a moment. She's already in the studio. She's going to present also her blueprint. So she got to do it with a legal tech. So she got to analyze one of the legal technology platform to create the service blueprint. And then based on her experience in a public institution, she will continue presenting the organization blueprint. Sylvia, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for making the time and for being here today.
Thank you, Tessa. Thank you for this live and for the challenge as well.
Would you like to say a few words about who you are, what you do, and where you are in the world?
Sure. I'm Brazilian. I used to be a lawyer in Brazil, but worked mainly at the prosecution office as a law clerk in the prosecution office of the state where I lived. And right now I'm living in Canada, where I'm a student of programming and legal design, programming with Python language and legal design.
This is amazing. And do you have a presentation to share with us?
Well, I made a presentation with an overlook of the challenge, but I think Cecilia has already presented the structure of the challenge very well. So I'm gonna skip to presenting my board, my Miro board, with an example of all the steps of the challenge in the cases I used. I'd just like to say that I really enjoyed this challenge because it enables you to see the structure of the service and the structure of the organization in a very organized way. And you can, in my understanding, you can apply this not only to legal firms, but to to firms in other areas. And in this aspect, I found it very useful, and to small companies, medium-sized companies, and large companies as well. So I think it's a very useful challenge. So I'm gonna share here my screen with you, Tessa, so I can show my Miro board.
Yes,
Just a quick
wonderful.
detail. So in my head, I divided this challenge in the service, legal service design blueprint and the organization design blueprint. For the legal service blueprint, I used a case study with this law tech called Good Lawyer. And for the organization service, because I needed to know details about the organization, and it's a case study, so I'm not within the organization. I took my previous professional experience at the state prosecution office back in Brazil. So I'm gonna share here with you the presentation.
Thank you so much. This is really exciting. I see Jiaxing Singh says very much an inspiring initiative to bring the public and the work that is exactly very often viewed as insignificant. And this is really amazing to see that you're enjoying this event. Thank you so much for the great feedback. I see your screen is there. Oh, perfect. Let's take a look here.
All right, so this is the Miro board for the challenge. This column here is mine. So we started with the service legal service design blueprint. We started by analyzing 15 principles of the service I choose. So Tessa called this the good service scale, and we had 15 principles to analyze. I'll read like the three first. They were like, how easy is the service to be found? How clearly it explains its purpose, and the expectations a user has of it. So we would give a grade to each of these principles and then explain why we gave this grade. So for instance, I'll take the first principle. How easy was it to find the service of goodlawyer.ca, the service I analyzed? I gave it a score of 3 only because on the Google search, it shows up on the first page, but not on the first 3 items of the Google search. Other companies shows up. So I gave it a 3, but it could deserve a 4 because it shows up on the first one. So, um, so we would analyze why we gave the grade. So what is your service failing to do for the users? I said show up between the first 3 options on a Google search. What would look for the service? I said show up on the first, in between the first 3 items. What's stopping the company or the service to do this now? Investment in search traffic. And what could you do to change it? Invest more money in search traffic so it would show up right on the top of the page on Google search. So we analyzed every principle. I'm not gonna go through all of them because it can be tiring and my presentation would be too long. Next step to analyze the service, we went to the service definition canvas, where we analyzed when a user would go for the service, why, the purpose of the service, how they would hire the service, and what is the service offer. I'm not gonna go one by one here because I sort of explained it when I talked about the service. So here is the service blueprint of the Good Lawyer platform. Just a quick explanation. Good Lawyer platform is a platform that connects users willing to hire a legal service to a lawyer. They don't provide the legal service itself, but they connect both and enable meetings, online meetings, as well as online payment. So the service blueprint enables you to have a visual look of the service. So here on the top, I put images of the customer journey. I didn't choose the whole journey from beginning to end. I chose just one part of the journey, which was from the Google search the user make to find the legal service to the point that the user finds goodlawyer.ca and pays for the service of a lawyer. So the next step would be to talk with the lawyer, hire more services or additional services. I didn't go into that. I just went up to the part where the customer inserts the credit card number. So here to have the storyboard, I did the customer journey. I put an image of Google, of the front page of the website. Then the second part. And see here, we put the image of the website as well as the what the customer action is in that phase. So the user clicks on pricing, then the user has the options of the service, like a contract review, or they have a list of many services there. Then the user can book the service with a simple click. The user has to log in. Then the user gets to choose the service and gets a list of lawyers available. Right away, when the person chooses the lawyer, they have the option of the calendar for the lawyer to schedule a meeting. And the last page is to leave a note to the lawyer explaining what the user needs and filling up the credit card information for the payment. So in this blueprint, I put all these phases with images, as well as a short description of what the user do. Right below these yellow stickers, you can see a line of interaction where I put images of the people or actions involved. So in all these steps I showed you, there's the platform that needs to be working. I put a little sign here for the chatbot that it's available in all phases of the service, as well as a legal concierge, which is what the website Good Lawyer calls a quick service that's available. It's a 15-minute call for legal advice that is free in case the user has any phase. So in all any doubts, and in all these phases, the platform, the chatbot, and the legal concierge are available. So the next step here was to describe the front stage actions during all the steps. So for instance, when the user is searching on Google and finding the web page, the front stage action is that the user gets to the landing page. Then the second action, the system leads to the pricing page, and so on. Following the front stage actions, we would describe the backstage actions and all the parts involved. So one of the backstage actions that is present in all steps of the journey I described is the platform automation. In order to have the platform automation, we have some roles involved, the IT people mainly. So we did this for the backstage actions and the supporting processes. I found this very useful because it makes very clear all the teams that are involved in the actions. And also, if we see something is failing, we can right away look at this image of the service blueprint and identify which team is involved and how to better that. So I found it a very clear way to identify the points of strengths and weaknesses in the service and and enables you to have a clear vision and take action as fast as this legal service design blueprint. Now I'm going to talk about the organization design blueprint. It started with this legal design upscale, in which we analyze various aspects of the organization. There are really a lot of aspects, and the challenge presented it in a way that one complements the previous one, and it enables you to go deep into the analyzing the organization, which is really good because sometimes when you're working, you're doing the main work, so you don't stop to pay attention or even to think which items should I analyze about my organization to make it better, you know. So I found this really good, the fact that the challenge presents the whole thing here. So I chose two of them, two of these aspects that I analyzed to make an organization blueprint here. So one of them is was to analyze if the organization, in this case, the state prosecution office I worked at in Brazil, had regular skill assessment activities to understand team strengths and growth opportunities. I put number 1 on this, and then I had to use the columns here to describe what the company is failing to do regarding this item. What would good look for the organization in this aspect, how we could apply that. So I put the grades were from 1 to 4. 1 being it's not doing anything regarding it, and 4 it's doing it well. So I put number 1 because we didn't have a regular skill assessment activity. Our service would be evaluated mostly by our leadership based on what we did daily. So I understood that the organization was failing on applying the skill assessment activities on the team. Good would be to have the skill assessment on a frequent basis. I wouldn't say monthly, but maybe every semester or every year. What was stopping the company to deliver this, to do this, was really lack of time focusing on the main work that we had, and lack of time means lack of prioritizing doing this. So that's what I identified that was stopping the organization from doing this. And then I also had to explain what we could do or what the team would need to do to take the first steps toward improving the situation, that is to apply regular skill assessment to the team. So in my opinion, it would be to search for tools and activities, advantages that such practice could bring to us, so that the leadership and even the team would be willing to spend the time to do so, because time spent on doing this means time not spent doing the main work. But on the long term, I believe this could bring many advantages to the team, and in the end to the service provided as well. So after identifying this, I went to the blueprint itself that looks like this. So we would put every step of a possible solution to this problem, and then we also had a space here to make notes. So in the first example, this example that I gave, how might we apply regular self-assessment activities to understand team strengths and growth opportunities? So I put some notes here. I've identify our current strengths, identify our current weaknesses, identify how much we're currently achieving the way we are doing our work, set a goal to make it better, and then define metrics or KPIs to reach that goal. So the step 2 would be to define these metrics, KPIs, and make them clear and accessible to every team member. If anyone forgot what it was, they can easily access it. And they could easily access it by either using a cloud, I put it here on the notes, or we could choose a tool, a shared tool as well, like Miro, for instance, to where users could share the tasks they completed, and the leadership could have access to this without having to contact each team member. So step 3 would to establish a method to periodically verify if the metrics are being met, if the goal that we set is feasible, because sometimes we set a goal and we realize that in practice we need some adaptation. So I put here on the notes that we would make group meetings with Miro board to register the whatever tasks we completed, but also to register feedback from the team, have 1 to 15 minutes feedback meetings from the leadership regarding the tasks we're completing, and having a leadership decision regarding the goal being feasible, if any adaptation is necessary, and so on. As a step 4, I included to compare the results from one semester to the previous one. And as a final step here, to share the experience with other prosecutors so they could possibly apply this skill assessment activities within their own teams to improve the team satisfaction, and ultimately the service provided. So yeah, this is the final look of the service design blueprint, the organization design. And I found it also useful because it with these steps you can clearly see each phase of this of the project. So in this case, the project would be to apply a regular skill assessment activity in the team. So I find it really easy to see every step we want to complete in order to get to the goal, which is to apply the regular skill assessment activities. And I guess that's it. I found it very useful, like I said, and I intend to apply it again as soon as I start working. Thank you, Tessa. I can't hear you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia, for these amazing presentations. We've received amazing comments in the chat from Lemo Letzi saying really, really amazing work. Cecilia as well, Sunashi, and I want to thank you, Sylvia, for doing this amazing work. It's been very detailed, and I'm so curious to know if the audience has some questions. Make sure to share them in the chat for Sylvia. And my question would be, what did you like the most about using this Miro board and the tools, like the different frameworks? Or what did you like the most in general about this challenge, Sylvia?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am a very visual person, but I think even for people who aren't visual, this challenge, the blueprints, they help you identifying and even organizing ideas about how your service is provided and how the organization is working. So in this sense, I found it very, very useful, to organize the ideas about your organization or service in order to better both of them. So I liked this very much. I also liked the items that we had to analyze, both regarding the service and regarding the organization, because they came ready. The whole list came ready for us, and that makes it a lot easier to analyze. You know, if you have to analyze, like if I'm working in, if I have my own company, and I have to stop to think, what should I analyze about my company? If the team is getting along, if we're applying this or that tool, if we're applying legal service. Sometimes we won't get to a satisfactory list, you know. And in this challenge, you presented the list to us, and it really goes deep into details about everything we need to analyze about the company and the service. So I really like that.
And I have another question for you, Sylvia. What about the difficulties? Did you find anything more difficult to do? Was there any challenge you encountered? And and based on your experience, what would be one thing you would maybe do differently if you were to do this again to get better at the service blueprint and organization blueprint?
Mm. I found it well, this was my first challenge, and it was the first time I was doing this at all in my life. So I found it challenging to break break a long process or a bigger picture into smaller pictures. So that's something I had. For example, at the user journey, I thought at first I'm gonna do the whole journey. And then I was like, oh, there's so much detail, you know, I'll have to break it into a smaller piece. And then I also learned from this that you can analyze the situation better by breaking the big picture into smaller pictures. I also find it difficult but that's something everybody must have faced, to actually see where you're failing within your own company. You know, for example, when I worked at the prosecution office, when I was analyzing some of the topics, I saw aspects that I could have worked on. You know, even though I wasn't in a leadership position, I could have suggested it to the team or to the leadership. So that's something difficult because you realize you could have been better. So, but anyways, we're always evolving.
Yeah, but
So
this
yeah,
is a
that's
great one. I think
yeah,
Cecilia had the same challenge but this is also the purpose of the legal service scale, is to make an assessment of how we perform on each of the items, and based on honest answers, starting to make changes for improvements. And so, of course, it's not always, it does not necessarily feels good, because we realize there's a lot we can improve. And but it's so great to then build a roadmap. So I want to thank you for that. And also, Sylvia, my last question would be, now what is your next step? How can we help you? Would you like to share a little bit what you're up to next?
I would like to. I see you have some previous challenges, so I would like to complete those as well. And then I don't know if there's an upcoming challenge, which I would like to, because the fact that we do this challenge together with other members of the academy, it's really stimulating, you know. When I would miss a live session right away, I was like, I gotta watch it the same day, you know, because everybody's doing this together. As well as you make the effort to be on the lives, because you get time to exchange experiences with with other academy members, which I find really, really nice, you know, and good for us as persons and as professionals as well. It's a way to make networking, but also learning really interesting experiences from others, you know. So this would be my next step, to do the next challenges, and also to keep learning programming, and maybe I can join both worlds, you know, programming and legal at one point.
Yeah, so you're learning how to code as well. This is really amazing. How can we contact you, Sylvia? Say the audience would like to reach out to you and continue this conversation. What is the best way for people to connect with you, Sylvia?
Sure, I'll leave my email here on the chat, as well as my LinkedIn. I can be found on LinkedIn by my whole name, which is a long name, Sylvia Neves Myers Loyutro, on LinkedIn. I'll also
great.
find my LinkedIn link here to leave. Yeah,
Wonderful.
thanks so much, Tessa, for the opportunity, and for everyone that's watching the live. Thanks for your support.
No, thank you so much for being a part of this. You can stay with us for the next presentation by Christophe in the studio and continue watching. And congratulations for doing the work. And also, you will be earning a certification badge for successfully completing this series. So I want to congratulate you for that as well. And lots of dedication needs to be rewarded as well. So thank you so much, Sylvia.
Thank you too.
Let's continue with one more and last presentation. But before, I would like to invite the audience to share questions and comments. I see here we have a long comment from Jasre Singh, and I appreciate that you are making the time to share. Let's see a little bit what you are saying about the dashboard and linking it with a cloud. Paperwork would slowly disappear. Probably in this digital transformation, we can very likely predict that paperwork even should probably already have disappeared. Somehow it has not, because we have not onboarded on this digital transformation. But all of those tools, whether it's Miro for collaboration and co-creation or other tools in the cloud, can definitely help us. So I look forward to continue this conversation with everybody, and also to invite you to stay for the last presentation, and not the least. It's going to be a presentation by Christophe Copin, who is based in France, and he has done this amazing work of creating a blueprint. And I don't know if Christophe, you are here. I think Christophe had also some internet issues, just got disconnected. So let's hope he's going to be back, because his presentation is really, really fantastic. So thank you for your patience and understanding that depending on where you are in the world, the internet is not always as good as we wanted. So let's wait for a couple of minutes for Christophe to come back in the studio. And as I do so, I would like to encourage you to share with me and with everybody what you have been learning so far. And for that, I'm going to share with you in the chat a link that you can use to actually share what you have learned so far. Christophe is back, so we're going to have him on board. Oh yeah, here he is. Christophe is back. So maybe I should take this opportunity and bring you. Hi, Christophe.
Hi. So sorry for this problem. I hope the sound is clear for you.
The sound is great. The sound is amazing. I can hear you very well. Christophe, I have maybe to make it easier for your internet connection, I do have a copy of your presentation. Maybe I can share it. It can be helpful.
I hope the connection is good, because your voice is very, it's like a Robocop.
Oh, okay.
And I kind, it's nice to launch my presentation. It's easier for me, and so sorry to be late for my colleague in this challenge. And so I am. It's a great pleasure for me to take part in this challenge, which allows me to approach a discipline of legal design which is generally not approached in France, and although it's mentioned in Margaret Hagan's reference book, Law by Design. The service and organization design is a very great discipline in legal design. My name is Christophe Copin, and I am former notary clerk in France, and I created Hubnot, a digital platform bringing players to enable French notary to carry out their digital transformation. As I said, I am very happy to participate in this challenge, because when I discovered legal design a little more than 2 years ago, I was immediately seduced by a discipline evoked by Tessa in one of her boot camps. Organization design and service designs, because in my opinion, for notaries, rethinking the organizational model of offices is very important. Legal design allows it, but it has to be done gradually, because it's more complex discipline than legal design of information. In this challenge, I focused on the notary's service provided on a very common type of file, real estate sales. I put the service under the design microscope based on the hypothesis of a standard case, that's of a file for the sale of house bought by a private person. The first step consists of evaluating the performance of notary's service through a tool, a good service scale, which allows the application of a grid of 15 principles, each of which is given a score from 1 to 5. Among these principles, I have selected 3 that have the lowest scores. Firstly, the customer's expectations. The clients need to be reassured and guided through the transaction, need to know the price of the operation, the steps to be followed, and the time frame. The clients need to be prepared for the launch of his files. Today, the clients discover the steps in a real time, or does not know how to go about it to satisfy his interests and those of the notary. We need to be able to encourage a change in mentality, because the sale of property is first and foremost a project and not a file. The applies to client or and also to the notary, a legal technician. Secondly, the knowledge required to use the services of a notary. We must admit it, his expertise is a wall between him and his clients. This concerns the document and terms used in all these dealings with the clients. A lot of information needs to be explained with faster and even earlier delivery of documents. Everyone wins: the clients, the notary, and his team. Clearly, 3 campaign points needs to be identified, and suitable communication media such as computer graphics need to be developed. Finally, client customer behavior. This is a sensitive with pain points of the priority. Buying a property creates very exciting clients, and this excitement is toxic in the exchange with the notary and his staff. As for the staff, they must understand that the profession of technician is first and foremost a service profession with a human touch. A quarter of good behavior will be a good tool for the clients and the employee. This would make it possible to develop a tool oriented towards a service company culture. The good service scale makes it possible to highlight the negative impact. The weight of the notary's legal expertise disseminated on different media, different support, such as a document and the importance of the behavior of both the clients on the notary and his staff. This evaluation concerns virtually all type of document received by notaries. Through another tool, the Canva, service definition Canva, sorry. We remain on the subject of real estate sales, and we see that the connection. Sorry for no. Sorry. So I think the next slide is in other language. Sorry. We remain on the subject of real estate sales, and we see that the context of operation, a real estate purchase, and the moment when the notary intervenes or the triggers for the files. Even if the notary is obliged to act in real estate matters, he has a public service mission, which consists in enable people to become owner in complete security, thanks in particular to the quality he gives to his deeds. They are authentic, and this means that the authenticity that the notary gives to it is a superpower to equip the contract with three characteristics. It has a certain date. No one can contest the date of birth of the contractual obligation. It's a probative force. The content of the contract transcribed by the notary as being verified by him, and this reinforces the impossibility of contesting the contract entirely. Its enforceability, the rights and obligation of the contract must be respected and executed by each party. Sorry. Apart from authenticity, a few months ago, notaries defined their why, which highlights their status as a public officer, their role, and their objective. To fulfill his mission, the notary advises free of charge. In fact, is only remitted remunerated. He earns money for assigning the deed, which he must keep for 75 years, and which he will pass on to the authorities to ensure that the property purchase is enforceable against third parties. The purchase of property is a process that takes place in two stages: a preliminary contract, which is oh, so sorry for my English is terrible. Which is
It's great, Christophe. It's amazing. Let's keep going.
Thank you. So nice. Which is a preparatory contract followed by the final deed of purchase, which may include a bank loan. If the buyer has sold a property given as security to a bank to buy a new one, there will then be a deed of release of security to remove the security and protect the new owner. And so sorry for this slide. I didn't translate into English. So sorry.
No, it's great. It's amazing. At least we can see the visual. Thank you, Christophe. It's amazing work. It's very detailed. Let's continue. It's great.
We now turn to an essential service design tool, the service design blueprint. The service design blueprint is a strategic tool, but it's also a collective empathy tool, where we will objectively understand the customer journey and all the interaction and processes involved in delivering the service to the customer. In our example, the customer journey includes two main stages: the pre-contract and the final deed of a sale. The first act is not a deed, authentic act, but the second, the sale is an authentic act. In order to process the file, the notary has to collect information and documents to start the file, and he has to have more later and to draw up the final deed of sale. The design blueprint service highlights the number of interaction during the file, which lasts 3 to 4 months between the first contact and the signature of the sale. There are two key moments in the process during which the client is put to the test. During the first contract, the client is excited and wants to sign the preliminary sale agreement quickly in order to secure his real estate transaction and avoid losing his good deal. The second phase step begins 15 days before the deadline for signing the final sale. The client calls the clerk, the employee in charge of the file, and it's always the same thing. The clerk has to check the document received after the signing of the preliminary sales agreement, and the clerk must check the documents received after the signing of the sale and give a date for an appointment to sign the final sale, while at the same time starting to draft the deed, the act, very quickly in order to respect the date given for signing. The notary's clerk has a heavy workload, and the client does not behave in the right way to facilitate the processing of his file. The file is first and foremost a collaborative work between the client and the notary, and especially the notary's clerk. The client's behavior must therefore be changed. So what the two highlights of the file are positive experiences for a client, A and D, the notary's staff, the notary's clerk in charge of the file, but not only. We will go further by educating the clients on a way to not make them aware of the process that allows them to become a homeowner. The first contact with the notary's office takes place when the client has found the property and has agreed with the seller on the price. The clients will discover the element to be provided by him and his sale vendor to put together the file. To change this state and remove as much tension as possible, the client must be informed before this agreement. The customer must be given the means to anticipate. Above all, and this the second point, the clients must understand that he is co-creator, setting up the file, co-manager handling of the file with the clerk, the employee, and even the switchboard operator, the accountant, and co-signatory, his signature alone is not enough. He needs the signature of the other party, and finally, that's of the notary notary who provides the entity of the deed. As the deed sale is a process that takes place over a period of time, the notary can be advised to provide his future client with information in the form of a computer graphic focusing on the 3 points mentioned above. The notary can very well provide a newsletter with his real estate advertisement containing the rights reflect to adopt to facilitate the file and more generally save time, money, and energy for him. At the time of his first contract, when he has found his sale, his vendor, the client asks the notary to handle his future file, who has him sign a requisition to act, to which is attached a charter of good behavior or even a points-based license. In this case, there must be an advantage, a reward for the clients to keep all the points. To better anticipate the stressful period, when the deadlines for the sales agreement approaches, more detailed information with high stakes can be delivered at the time of signing the sales agreement and then recalled until the loan is obtained, which marks the start of the stage. The customer is so eagerly awaiting the signing of the deed of sale. Here again, computer graphics can be used, and well as a sequence of automatic emails based on the calendar of operation mentioned in the sale agreement, in the first step, pre-contract. The notary service results from the organization of his office, and this is why the legal design ops scale makes it possible to highlight points in this organization that need to be improved. First of all, the notary, being a public officer, he does not benefit from the same organizational flexibility as a commercial enterprise. The culture of the file permits the entire organization to, and this also permits the culture of the staff. Client's case file is an experience, and the organization must be focused on the human experience of the clients and the employee and even the contributors and partner of these files. This is a culture that must imperatively be applied. That's all legal design to change the employee's view of the product, of document, and that's of the clients to make them actors in their case. The culture of design being centered on the clients, it is a source of service culture. The development of a culture is a long journey, and the lack of time and the pressure of clients do not help notaries and their employee to sit down, to take the time to do client interviews, to document the files with recurrent technical and legal difficulties. Notaries can undertake this culture building during the recruitment phase. This is a good signal to the candidate, as notaries have recruitment problems like other legal professionals. Notaries should document their organizational structure in order to avoid, for example, using long-standing employee. The arrivals of a new colleague should not cause them to lose time. The drafting of a document should also be standardized. The quality of the drafting should be the same for all clerks in the same department. Whatever the nature of the position, the silos of the department, writing, accounting, or real estate negotiation, for example, must also be broken down. The notarial act is the result of a value chain. Every link counts. If we were to summarize in 4 points what the organization of notaries office should be, it should be human-centered. customer, employee, contributor, and partner. It should also focus on experience, because all interaction are a source of improvement. As interactions are as interactions are constant, the evolution of the organization must be constant as well, just like the rule of law, quite simply. And finally, a culture. Culture must be the link between all the players in the organization. Using technology is fine, but an evolutionary mindset, growth mindset, and a real culture of innovation are essential. An example of how to implement improvements in the organization is a process of producing a document in general and resulting experience for the clients and employees. How can legal design be integrated into this process? It has to be disseminated to the client and the employees. At the same time, it's a self-feeding loop with data and constant input from everyone. I think we need to appoint people within the organization who are responsible for a strategic subject, client experience, and employee experience. The notary must be optimize his resources and tools, as they did drafting software as an essential place, a big place. Its full potential must be exploited and perpetuated when there are updates. Again, technology must serve the notary and not the other way around. It is therefore essential to ensure the notary's place is preserved. In my journey through legal design, I came to understand the difference a little later. That's of value and impact. Not everything can have a value as an impact, or at least not always a desired impact. On the internet, you can find a lot of information, tips, hacks. Information is not advice. You need a legal professional for what you are interested in. So advice has more impact here because it suggests an action. In the legal design of information, we can have an impact between the client who discovers and translated contract with his tool. It's a methodology. If we focus on service design and organization design, we align the interest of the client and the legal professional, which has a much wider impact because the interest of the collaborators behind the scene are also taken into account. In the same spirit, efficiency refers to the optimization of resources, the time, energy for the clients and the legal service provider. It must be possible to deliver with less. This is fundamental. Today, notarial services are uniform. Of course, the legal solution is custom, but not the emotional and human experience. With service design, we can personalize the custom. We can custom the experience, but this requires a real commitment on the part of notary. Each file has its own experience, a customer journey that can be marked by unforeseen events. The client's behavior will then be decisive, and his reactions anticipated by the notary and his team. On the occasion of on this challenge, I wanted to mark a new step for my Upnot platform by adding a new service, a notary design, which will allow to implement everything I discovered with you, Tessa. We will talk about total experience, digital transformation, and other concepts that I really want to integrate for notaries. I'm available for a chat. Here, my contact detail. Thank you very, very much for your attention and understanding for the presentation in an English that I need to improve. Thank you.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, Christophe, for your really thoughtful presentation on Notary by Design. And I'm following the account now on the Instagram, so I'm looking forward to see what you will publish. I invite also the live and replay attendees to share questions and comments for Christophe. I think you have done a fantastic job. It's very detailed, very well explained, and I think you have a lot of material you can use in the future, Christophe. Would you like to maybe share one thing you enjoyed doing this challenge and blueprint?
So sorry, the sound is...
You don't hear me so well. That's okay, Christophe. Christophe, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. We're going to continue and finish the event. Thank you so much, Christophe, for coming here, and congratulations for this really hard work. We're going to finish the event, but before we finish, I'm going to share with you some of the insights I got from this event, and I would like you also to share your insights and key learnings. So you can share your insights and key learnings by using the link that is available in the chat. So collectively, we can learn from each other. I think this is something that is very important, to also collectively learn and share the insights, because that's the best way to accelerate our growth and to also help each other on this learning journey. So feel free to use the chat, the link in the chat. And as you do so, I'm going to share my key takeaways from this event. So first key takeaway is that in order to do innovation and legal design work, we need to have a methodology and a structure. It is not something we can improvise to do. Although I do think we can and we should bring a little bit of intuition to adapt the work we do. But having a structure and a process is definitely going to be very helpful for us to maximize the outcomes, and also for us to be able to confidently onboard our teams, our departments, our organization, and our clients on this journey with us. Because, you know, it would be a little risky to just try to do it, you know, without any kind of support, especially the first time. And so I think, you know, having this structure can be really helpful. The second insight I got from today's presentation is the importance of being optimistic and dedicated to the task. And the reason for that is because it can be challenging to do such kind of work. We got to see from Sylvia, she mentioned, when she was doing the analysis of using the legal design ops framework, that there's actually a lot that could have been improved. And that's okay to accept that there are things to improve. It's not necessarily easy to recognize that we can do better. But when we are aware of the things to improve, then it's just a lot easier to start on this journey. So having the courage to actually look at the reality, make the map, and then having the optimism and the confidence to actually start and continue on this journey to actually do this. And the third and last insight I have is the power of community, to be able to actually come together and to be able to learn from each other and to be able to support each other. I think this is really, really valuable, and this is why the community is so important within the Lego Creatives learning journey, to be able to learn from everybody's experience, to be able to share insights, to be able to ask questions, to be able to give support, and to be able to do this journey together instead of trying to figure everything on our own. So those are the 3 insights I got. What about you? I see we have at least one person who filled in the form. So I want to acknowledge that person for saying they have learned about the metrics. The metrics is everything. In fact, in legal design, if we don't have metrics, we cannot prove that what we do is actually better. Without metrics, all we can say is that we think or we feel it's better, but it's not objective enough. So having a set of metrics, like you say, I think is really fantastic. And you say you have learned about customer journey, you found it insightful, also challenging. Of course, nobody says this is easy. In fact, this service design blueprint could be easily done for a period of months, if not even years. And in the Academy, we have delivered this course for the members to be able to learn and apply this in 6 weeks or less. So it's been a challenge, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity to dive into the material, to start learning, to also put everything in practice immediately. So it's an active way of learning. And then what you learn, you can reuse in your day-to-day work with your team to start making some changes, or even as a consultant to help your clients on board on this transformation, whether it's digital transformation, technological transformation, or customer centricity transformation, and use some of the tools that you have learned and practiced inside the Academy. This course is available for those of you who may want to take it. It is available on the platform at Lego Creatives. You can sign up if you're interested, give it a try for 15 days and see if it works for you. And if it does, then great, you can continue and complete the challenge. If it doesn't work for you, then you can just ask for a cancellation of your membership, and no hurt feelings. That's okay. We understand this platform is not for everybody. It's for the people who want to actively learn and engage with the content, with the community, and eventually get some certifications for the hard work they do. Because it is hard work, but it is also great work that is really important today, where the world is changing and we need to adapt to the changes. And the best way to do those changes is to start with the customer and to work backwards. So those were my insights. I was so excited and so happy to see the work from Sylvia, Christophe, Cecilia. Thank you so much. If you would like to say your last words, I'm happy to bring you back into the main stage. I see we have the 3 of you in the backstage. Let me know if you would like to say your last words in the chat. And if and what I want to leave you all with is an invitation to continue this work, to pursue the exploration and application of legal design as a structured methodology to make services and organizations in the legal sector closer to the customer's needs, more digital, more technological, and having a clear picture of what needs to change using tools like Miro would be really amazing. I see Cecilia says she's interested to say one last word, but the connection is not great. I don't know if you can try, Cecilia, put your camera in the back. It would be amazing. And then she is. Cecilia, great to have you here. So nice. Thank you so much for your hard work. And
Hi, Tessa. I'm still in slow motion.
This is wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Just to say, thank you all the attendees. Thank you, Tessa. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Christophe. It was very insightful, your words. I really like it. I really like your approach, Christophe, about the evolve of the people and company. I really like it. It was very insightful, so much information you bring to us. And nothing, as always says, keep working, keep learning, and be creative. No more. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Sylvia, you want to say one last word?
I just want to say thank you to you, Tessa, for the time, for preparing this live. And also thank you for the Academy members for making this together. I really enjoyed the experience, and also the chance to make the presentation. I was really nervous, but I think I guess practice makes it easier. So it's good to have such opportunities, So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. It's been so great to see your work and really amazing. Christophe, one last word?
It was a big challenge for me to present in English this challenge, and service design and organization design is a very, very impact domain. I think in France and in other countries, it's two fields. What the law professional must be take, and legal design, visual law, legal design information is great, but service design and organization design is very, very different because culture and the vocabulary is a specific discipline, but if it's possible to connect different discipline in legal design, information service, the product service, and organization and system and ecosystem design, it's also interesting. It's a big challenge, but it allows to succeed in digital transformation for me. And thank you to my colleague for this challenge. And for the next challenge, promise my English will be better. Thank you, Tessa. Thank you all.
Thank you. Your English is getting so much better every single time. So really, rest assured, it was amazing. Thank you, everybody who has been there today. I'm going to leave you with a short video about Legal Creative so you can take a look. I hope to see you take this course. You can take it on the platform. It's available for you. And also, we're going to dive into another challenge. Every 3 months, we're starting a new challenge to bring diversity into the learning experience. And so I can't wait for the next one. Thank you, everybody.